going into the final stages now of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Here you can see Kai Kara in the Ferrari with the DRS chasing down Cool Plug Alt, trying to get ahead to get into the final podium position. It says on the tower that he is, but on track Kai Kara is behind. So we're going to stick with this battle, see if the Croatian has any chance of catching up to that Aston Martin right there, diving down the main straight into turn 1, and the gap expands barely. It's barely half a second. So we're going to see if Kai Kara can catch up. It's looking good at the moment. It's looking very good. The pace is there, but we just need to be able to see if that Ferrari will be able to actually catch up to the Aston Martin in front. It gets close there through the small chicane. The gap ever tightens, but it doesn't look like a move could have been done there by Kai Kara. It's only a few to go until the last lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix officially commences. Here we go. There's the start-finish straight. There's the starting grid. And it looks like Kai Kara is ahead there side by side going into turn 1. Cool Plug Alt holds ahead though. Look how close that battle is. There's an E-Spirit going around in the back there. That's one of the lapped cars, so nothing to worry about for this battle. And look how close it is. Kai Kara inching ahead, and on the timing towers, Kai Kara is ahead, but by only 0.2 of a second. That is incredibly close now. There's a Novena getting in the way there. That'll give them both DRS if it holds like that, but Kai Kara seems to be edging ahead of that car, and he slides slightly, but he keeps it together. Nearly gave the position back to Cool Plug Alt on the final lap. That is not what you want to be doing, especially in a championship as close as this one. Looping out of that corner, coming down the shortest straight and coming around now. They're side by side, but Cool Plug Alt makes a big mistake. He's spun round, he's hit the wall. That's solidifying Kai Kara's position, third position. Look how big the gap is now. Here we go then, that was Kai Kara finishing and securing that third place position. Here we go then, we're now in the final stages of this very exciting British Grand Prix. Aventurador in the Novena is trying to catch up to third place, the third place positioned car of Copper Powered, the Red Star. So it's Novena versus Red Star for the final podium position. Delpha's already managed to get up into second place, just 16 seconds behind the leader of Dakar. But the main battle to focus on is this one here. As you can see, if Copper Powered can hold that position, that third place position, it would be a double podium for the Red Star team. However, Aventurador is looking like they may be able to chase down this third place position. That's definitely something that the Novena team would like. The number 8 car would certainly like that very much as well. Gap between these two cars is getting ever tighter. 56 seconds behind the leader, 56.8 for Copper Powered compared to Aventurador's 58.225 deficit. So that's around a 2-second gap now. That shrinks. Aventurador only has a 56.4 second deficit to the first place leader of Dakar 2. This gap is ever tightening. It's going to be very close. We're on lap 30 now officially. That's what Dakar is running. These two cars are going to be starting lap 30 in about a minute's time. You can see the E-Spirit at the back there. There's someone losing it slightly as well coming out of that turn. Now looping round to the right. Oh, Aventurador getting a little bit of wheel spin on them rear wheels, losing traction and just losing the back end there. A massive amount of oversteer. Castronics behind one of the lapped cars. Aventurador and Copper Powered still fighting out for this third place position. Surprisingly, even with that small mistake there for the Novena, the gap has actually gotten smaller. I don't know how that happened. Something must have happened to Copper. I'm not sure, but this battle is certainly very interesting indeed. And it's gotten even more interesting. Aventurador has just spun round and completely lost it. That is Aventurador out of contention for third place now, with just over a lap to go until the checker flag falls for Copper Powered. This must be a Red Star 2-3 confirmed. Copper Powered is keeping it cool, keeping it steady. Just got to make it to the checkered flag. Here's Dakar. Dakar's now 1 with Delta really closing up behind there. Just 3/10 on the line. How close was that? That was insanely close between the Ferrari and the Red Star. Copper Powered has just over a minute to go until they cross the line to start to finish their race. That will be hopefully a 2-3 for Red Star. That's what the team are wanting. And there's a car veering off to the right there. That is Castronics, I think. Definitely not something good with the tyres there in the E-Spirit. Their teammate Idle Skies are trying to catch up to Copper, but it doesn't look like it's gonna work. 6 seconds now between these two cars. The gap's getting shorter, but the finish line is just there, and coming across it right now is Copper, taking P3 for the Red Star team. It's Dakar, Delta and Copper on the podium at the end of this first ever British Grand Prix. So as we enter the closing stages of this first ever French Grand Prix, as you can see, Dakar really has a very decisive lead. What just happened? What just happened to Dakar? What happened there? He just went into the curb and he's flipped up into the sky. As I was saying, Dakar has a decisive lead. It's 60 seconds to SS2 Goku in second place. But what? There's absolutely nothing Dakar can do at this point unless he can get his car unstuck. There's cars whizzing past him now, but by the looks of things, SS2 Goku is going to take the lead. Dakar is staying still. Dakar can't do anything. Car number 42 seems to be well and truly stuck in the ground there. So, if you look at a replay, Dakar just seems to go off onto the curb there, and then his car just, I don't know, Roblox physics, just does a Roblox physics. Only a few more corners to go now. It's looking good. The team are probably going to be getting excited here. Delta's running slowly. What's happened to Delta? Delta's running second. Is Delta out of fuel? Delta's out of fuel. Delta has run out of fuel in the Red Star. What's happened here? So it doesn't look like Delta's actually going to be able to get P2. That's Delta and Dakar both out of contention for podium places in the space of 2 laps. What's happened here? They were 5.8 seconds behind the leader. What's happened here? There's a massive miscalculation of the Red Star team as SS2 Goku wins the race. Castronics is going to be able to get into second place here. Professor Bloxer finishes in 4th. Delta's walking on the track. Delta has to run to the finish, but it's not going to be possible. Castronics will probably be able to catch up. Look at this. There goes Cast. Oh, there. Goku wins the race. Heartbreak for Delta as well as Dakar, both losing podium positions on the last in the last part of the race. There goes Kai Carapaz, only P9 at the moment for the Ferrari, but look at that. What a tragic way to end the French Grand Prix for both Dakar, as it is his home race, and Delta, P2, and run out of fuel before he can make it to the finish line. As we're now being told to watch the lights, the Japanese Grand Prix, Season 1, Round 9. And we're off and away at the street circuit in Japan. Looks like a very good start for Kaikara, coming up to get ahead of the cars behind. A little bit of a gap forming, but not for long. Here we go. Scuppins is trying to get ahead, but it doesn't look like it's happening. There's an Aston Martin going off the racing line there slightly now, looping up right onto the motorway. Look at that gap now forming for the Ferrari, but is Dakar going to be able to get up any higher? Starting lower on the grid, looks to be up into third position now for Dakar. No, sorry, that's fourth position. No, it's third. It is actually third position. Scuppins getting up into the lead momentarily there. There's a red star that's gone round, and there's a Ferrari that's gone round. That's Dakar. Dakar's spun on the first lap. He's going to be falling down the order now. Two cars spinning, Kaikara and a red star going out onto the car park there. And eSpirits now managed to get into the lead. That's Castronics now leading the Japanese Grand Prix. Delphi getting ahead of Kaikara, but barely. They're inside of each other now. Look at that, the red star and the Ferrari getting so close. Kaikara holding second place now. The eSpirit is almost sliding out there like Dakar did, but he's holding the lead, and Kaikara bashes into the wall there, and the Aston Martin bashes into the wall there. Rounding the final corner now for the eSpirit, a comfortable lead, a very, very comfortable lead indeed. Coming across the line now, it's Castronics leading the race to Delta, to Scuppins, to Kaikara, to Professor Bloxer, to TDM Fan, to Cool Plug Alt, and then to Dakar down in P8. Copper Powered running in the final points position, and we've already had one DNF now, a disconnect from the race. Oh, it's now lap 2, and Castronics is still leading the race, but barely 8 tenths now to Scuppins. What an exciting race start this has been in Japan. Here we go then, about to start lap 3. Castronics still leading, the gap to Kaikara is ever shortened, and there's an Aston Martin that spun round there in the penultimate corner. I'm not sure who that is. But that is an Aston Martin that spun round. And on the main straight, Kaikara has retaken the lead to Castronics by just 0.266 seconds now. Scuppins still running in third place. Dakar making it up to sixth. And the third place of Scuppins has just smashed into the wall at the start of the motorway. That is not what that driver wants. Scuppins is not going to be very happy with that move, because it's going to give him a massive disadvantage. Someone who's got a little bit of an advantage here is Kaikara, getting ahead of Castronics, coming through the middle sector here at the Japanese Grand Prix. The Ferrari and the eSpirit going wheel to wheel here now through the car park. They're staying on the track this time, except different from the first lap when they both ran off into the car park. But it's car number 8 and car number 86 going to battle here, coming round the final sector now. Who's it going to be at the start-finish straight? I'm not sure. It's looking to be Castronics again. It could be Kaikara. The gap between them is absolutely minute. Coming round the final corner now. Look how close it is between Dakar and Castronics. Dakar on track is in the lead. It looks as if Dakar has now managed to take the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix, and Kaikara may be able to get ahead of Castronics. They're side by side. Cast looks to be in the lead, is it not? It's so close, it's hard to tell. The Ferraris so close to the eSpirit. Dakar is in the lead, but we're coming through sector 1 now into the sector 1 timing line, and Cast might be in the lead again. This is flip-flopping like crazy. Look at this, Cast and one of the Ferraris going side by side now out of the motorway through the left-hander now, the hairpin bend. Look at that, how close is that? 3 cars in the space of about, I'd say that's about 5 meters there, because they're pretty much inside of each other. Kaikara went off into the car park there, not going to give him any time whatsoever. He's just going to pull time away from his lap, as Dakar looks to be in the lead again. Delpha's catching up. The more squabbling these guys do, the more of an advantage it's going to give to Delpha. Maybe able to storm up there. Kaikara's losing some pace there, losing the back tyres, losing the car nearly. But he didn't. Kaikara and Cast are really fighting now. The Ferrari and the eSpirit down the main straight. Is it going to become a Ferrari 1-2? Kaikara has the DRS, and it's a Ferrari 1-2 leading into turn 1 now. Car 42 and car 86 leading the way for this Japanese Grand Prix. There's only 2 laps to go now, ladies and gentlemen. Kaikara and Castronics, the gap is only 5.5 seconds now. These two have been battling all race. Delpha has fallen back though, 30 seconds to the leader. Kaikara holding the fastest lap. Everyone, Cool Plug Alt and down has disconnected from the server. They're out of the race. They're no longer in contention at all. As you can see, there's Scuppins who managed to get into the lead there slightly. TDM Fan also doing quite well in the midfield there. Kaikara just needs to get this home now, and they'll get their first race of the season. First win of the season, sorry. We had Goku last time round getting their first win of the season, and it's about to get Kaikara It's about to be Kaikara getting their first win of the season. Castronics still running second, Delta still running third. Very, very consistent now from the top three. The gaps aren't really changing a bit. They're getting a bit longer for Cast and Delta. Kaikara is probably speeding up a little bit. He wants to get this race over and done with as soon as he can. Like up 37 of 38 total laps around the streets of Japan. Last lap of the race. Kaikara coming around the first corner. He knows he'll be able to win this race if he just makes it to the end and not spin out, lose, get his car stuck in the ground, anything like that. 4.766 seconds to the nearest car on the same lap as him, which is Castronics in the E-Spirit, who has managed to get his way into the lead several times today. But it's looking in Kaikara's favour, looking in Croatia's favour for the end of this race, but he banged the wall. He banged the wall. That is not going to give him any time at all. That's going to lose him time. Cast now just 4 seconds behind. You can see him at the back there. Kaikara really needs these back markers to start helping him, because if not, too soon, they're going to be helping his rival. They're going to be helping Cast. Cast is now just 2.933 seconds at the second sector timing line. Castronics and Krusky was here really battling it out, even though Krusky is much further down the field in 7th place. But still, as I said before, with Scuppens and TDM fan, they'll still give you DRS and they'll still give you the slipstream, but that's not going to do much now. Kaikara's weaving across the track onto the main straight and crossing the line now. Kaikara wins his first race in Ion Formula 1, wins his first race of Season 1. This is a historic moment for him, and Cast gets another 2nd place. That's a very good drive from both of them, battling it out fairly, and now we'll just have to wait for Delta in the red start to come and cross the line. As Dakar now crosses the line to start lap 34 here in China. If the race finishes like this, Dakar and Kaikara are going to be equal on points. However, Dakar has won more races this season and got higher positions than Kaikara, so Dakar will be the Season 1 champion of Ion Formula 1. Kaikara just needs to make it, just needs to get ahead of Cast. If Kaikara gets ahead of Cast, or even gets the fastest lap on the final lap, Kaikara will become the Season 1 champion. But as things stand, that is going to Dakar. Even if someone else gets the fastest lap, Dakar will lose that point and Kaikara will become the champion. There's a point in it. There's literally 1 point in it. If 1 point changes between these two drivers, then Kaikara will be getting that championship. There's a car spinning there in the main straight. But coming through now is Dakar round the tight left hairpin bend in China. Dakar knows he can win the championship now. Dakar has not put a foot wrong today. He just needs to keep going, not make any mistakes. A 64-second gap it is down to the car behind, so there's very little chance Dakar will lose that position unless something like France happens, and where he gets stuck in the in the curbs. That's the word, in the curbs. But Dakar has done nothing wrong. There he is. I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but he does need to cross the line at some point. He's probably gonna. Oh, he's going into the pits. He's fit. He's winning the championship in the pits, because he can do that, because he's dominated this season since he joined, pretty much halfway through. Look at that, in the Ferrari, pitting and coming along. Oh, and he's done it. Dakar has won the Season 1 championship. If Kaikara can't get ahead of the E-Spirit of Cast. Look at that. It's a second between them. Probably a bit longer now. They've got half a lap to do it. Kaikara's got half a lap to do it. 2 seconds separating them now. 2 seconds. Can Kaikara get ahead of Castronics? Dakar, his teammate, probably doesn't want him to, but no matter what, it's a Ferrari winning the Drivers' Championship. Here comes Cast. Here comes Cast. And Cast gets second. Kaikara no longer can win the championship. Kaikara will get second place. They're equal on points. 137 points for Dakar and Kaikara. But Dakar, as I said, has higher positions. So Dakar wins the Season 1 championship.